Hi, I'm DeDe. In this seated session, we'll focus on improving our flexibility. After a thorough warm-up, we'll limber and stretch our entire body. Here's what you'll need: a sturdy armless chair, some athletic shoes, and some water for hydration. Make sure you have room for your arms and legs around your chair, and remember to always perform the moves at your own pace. All right, so let's sit down. We're not against the back of the chair. Legs in line with hip joints, feet are even and straight, shoulders are back and down. Now we'll tap the toes, right, left, left. So we always want to warm up, get the core temperature of our connective tissue up so we can stretch more effectively and more safely. Now watch the change with the feet. We tap both feet out, both feet center, both feet out, both feet center. So out meaning out, not straight ahead. Now let's come back to the center, tiptoes. Up, down. Keep practicing your good posture here, including ears back over shoulders. Sometimes that's tricky. And just a reminder, as always, you can hold on to the chair at any point if you feel like you need to. But otherwise, let's add some arms here. So one way to get your core connective tissue temperature up is to warm up like we're doing with some gentle rhythmic movements that aren't too quick. Another way to do it is to take a warm bath, warm shower. Immediately after that, your connective tissue is warmer, so that's a more appropriate time to stretch. One more. Now we're going to go up, and hold, down, up, down and hold. And you can hold the chair if you need to, if that feels more secure for you. Otherwise, hands on your legs. Now can we add the arms back in? It's the same pattern. Up, and hold, down, and hold. And you're still breathing. Even when you're holding the position, you're not holding your breath. Last one. Now hands on your hips. Make your right hip heavy. Make the front of your hips heavy. Your left hip is heavy. And then the backs of your hips are heavy. Do it again. Right. Forward. Left hip is heavy. And then back. Now let's reverse. Go the other way. Left hip. Lean forward. Go around again. These are hip circles. The shifting of the weight helps to warm us up, especially for our midsection. Now let's come forward, and then we'll go back, hold the chair if you need to, and forward. So we're keeping the back long and straight. You can have your hands on your hips if that works for you. Now instead of forward and back, let's stop in the middle and we'll go side to side. Easy does it. Over and center and over and center. Now you should feel like there's more weight on your right hip here than there is on your left hip, but you're not lifting your lighter hip all the way up. It's still in contact with the chair. Let's add some arms. One arm out, and then it comes back in. The other arm out. Notice how I'm holding onto the chair with one hand. You can do that too, or you can bring both arms out. How's your posture? Still straight and tall? Double check. Let's come back to the center, and then just like we did a moment ago, let's inhale the arms up, and then we exhale and twist. Look over your shoulder, switch. So you turn your torso, the hands are giving you better leverage to turn, and then you turn your neck and your head. Now let's do the same thing with a side bend. Feet a little wider, inhale, and then exhale over one hand on your leg. So our feet are wider just for a more stable base of support. Now, if your arm can go straighter, let it go straighter. Come back to the center. Our right foot is out and in, and our left foot is out and in. Out and in, out and in. So we're landing flat on the sole of the shoe. Let's try landing on our toes. Toes and in and toes. Now we'll try landing on the heel. Heel. So every time we change the landing place on our foot, we have to change the recruitment of the muscles a little bit. Now back to flat-footed. Let's add an arm. Straight out. Straight in. Flat on your foot. Now let's go back to the toes. Arm goes a little higher. Let's go to the heel, both arms. Heel and in. Remember the option to hold on if you'd rather. Last four. I feel my body temperature coming up, and I hope you do too. Now step in. We have both arms sweeping forward and up, and forward and down. Little hip hinge. Forward and up, forward, down, and a little bit behind. Now let's try this with a wider stance, out toward the corners of the seat of your chair. Up, forward, your back stays straight. Make sure your feet are in the right place to support your body weight as it comes forward. That's important. Let's bring the hands onto the thighs now, shoulders down, away from the ears. Inhale, you have straight, tall spine, and then exhale, forward and twist. Back up to the center. Let's go the other way with the twist. Your chest faces right. And then inhale, and your chest faces left. One more of these wide stance twists. Now we come up. Let's turn sideways. And as usual here, we have 90 degrees in both of our knees. Hold on to the chair as much as you need to. Pelvis tucks forward and back. So we're working on limbering right now. This is not as much about flexibility as it's about preparation. Two more. All right, keep your feet wide. Let's turn the other way. Arrange your legs so they're both bent to 90 degrees at the knee. Rock the pelvis forward and back. And I probably don't need to remind you, but we're feeling this in the hip flexors. That's where you should be feeling it, especially as your pelvis tucks forward. It lengthens, it stretches that area. You can actually feel it if you put your hand there. One more, and then we're coming back to the center. Back to where we started. Let's roll the shoulders up and around shoulders down and circle the elbows around. Now we're going to make it bigger and we're going to go slower. So it's up and around, back and down. Again, up, exhale, and then four more. Can you feel what's happening in your shoulders, your chest, your upper back? The last two now. Preparation, very important for stretching. All right, let's relax that now. Shake out your hands, shake out your feet, roll your shoulders, a little easy twist side to side. Now, sitting tall, straight, let's take this right arm across. Now, a couple things I want to point out. Don't let your shoulder right up, press it down. And then you scoop your left hand here in front of your right arm and you pull in with your left hand, and at the same time you a little bit push away with your right arm. And then breathe. Now target, you should feel it here. This is our target stretch area right here. The outer portion of our upper arm, our shoulder muscles. All right, release that. Let's do 4 arm circles. 4, up and around, and 3. Now yours can be smaller than this if that feels better. You can also do them with your elbow bent if that's more appropriate for you. All of us are different. All of our shoulders are different. All right, let's try that stretch on our left arm. Let's take the left arm out, shoulder down, arm across. Here's the right hand. Pull in, and at the same time, push away. Feel that? Now breathe. So our deltoid muscles are here, some of our shoulder muscles. We also have shoulder girdle muscle group up here. Part of our shoulder muscles are kind of under here. So a lot of shoulder muscle here to contend with. Right now we're focusing mostly on our medial deltoid, maybe the posterior deltoid a little bit. Now release, let's do those 4 big arm circles, or medium. Big feels too big. 3. 1 more. All right, now we're still in that same position. Up tall, feet are flat, ears over shoulders. Take your right hand, walk it down your back. And as you do that, your right elbow should go up. Maybe you can get it close to your temple. Maybe it's out here. But if you can, bring it in. And then the further down your back you can walk, the more stretch you're going to feel. However, that doesn't mean you need to stretch all the way down. Go to the point of a moderate amount of resistance from your body. And then again, try to bring your elbow in. And then if you'd like a little assistance from this left hand here, now, are you able to be here without tensing your shoulders up towards your earlobes? Try to be relaxed through your shoulders. And then release, shake your arm out, roll your shoulder. Let's try the other side now. Here. And then moving down your back with your fingers, try not to swing out. And then maybe if it feels right, you assist with your right hand here. You can go over the top of your head too, but some people find that challenging for their shoulder on their reaching over side. So you can go here instead. Now soften the shoulders away from the earlobes. Keep walking your hand down your back as much as you can. Keep breathing. Stretching feels good to my body. How does it feel to yours? If it feels uncomfortable or almost painful, you might be pushing yourself a little too far, too quickly. You might be tensing up too much. You might not be relaxed enough. See if you can make it more tolerable for yourself. You're more likely to do it more often if it's not torturous, right? Okay, bring your arm down, shake it out. Roll your shoulder. Now scoot toward the front edge of your chair. Move your feet forward accordingly. And now we'll take our hands to the back of the chair. We'll slide our hands up the back of the chair. Tuck the chin in and lean forward. Pull your shoulder blades back. Keep your neck long. Now stay there. I just want to point this out. You're not jutting your chin out in front of you, right? You're pulling your chin in and you're leading with your chest to the best of your ability. Now put a little bend in your elbows. A little bend in your elbows changes what's happening a little bit. And then breathe into your front ribs, your chest, and your collarbone area. So I know we feel like we're stretching further if we push the chin forward, but that just distorts the line of our neck. So let's not do that. Slide your hands up any higher, up the back of your chair. The back of my chair is not very tall, so I'm at about my maximum. See if you can go to your maximum, as long as you're still comfortable and you're still able to maintain the alignment. And then release, shake out your hands, and then let your arms come down, roll your shoulders up and around. Now we're still here at the front edge of our chair. Walk your feet in a little closer together. Take one leg straight out in front of you. Sitting at the edge of the chair makes this a little more feasible, a little more comfortable, especially if you're on a hard chair like I am. Now this other knee, this left knee is over the ankle. We're going to lift the ribs out of the abdomen and tip forward as far as we can. Now you can rest one forearm on your thigh, provided that you're still able to maintain your straight, neutral spine. You can rest both forearms on your thigh. Same guidelines, or you can slide your hand further down your shin. And then just like when we were doing that chest expansion, tuck your chin in here. I don't know about you, but when my chin is forward like this, it creates so much tension in my neck. It's not only uncomfortable for my neck biomechanically, but I feel like it impedes my breathing a little bit too by narrowing my breathing passageway. So tuck your chin in and look somewhere near your front foot. Keep flexing your front foot. All right, let's come up. Both knees are bent. We circle around through that right ankle a couple times. Let's do the other side now. Left leg is straight, sit up, and then tip forward. This is where your chin is, so make sure the rest of your spinal alignment. Shoulders down. And then we can start to find maybe your forearm on your thigh. Maybe not. Maybe your other forearm too. Maybe your left hand goes further down your left shin. So then we're looking down toward our left foot and we're looking at it and making sure that it's flexed with the toes up. Up. bent. Let's circle around through this ankle. And then we're scooting back, right back to about halfway between the front and the back of the chair. Ankles and knees together, crossing your ankle over your ankle, right ankle on top, or knee over knee, right knee on top, or ankle over knee, right here. Flex your foot if you're doing ankle over knee. Sit up tall. Right there, you should start to feel a pretty amazing stretch on your right hip, the outer portion. If you can, if it's not too intense, and if you don't round your back, tip forward. And then maybe you rest one or both forearms on your legs. Otherwise, hands are here. Now your left shin should be a straight line here. Do you have it in a straight line from your knee to your ankle? Double check. Make sure. So do you notice the longer we sit in a stretch, the easier the stretch becomes? Or maybe you're pursuing going further into the stretch as it becomes easier. In that case, it won't feel easier ever because you're still pursuing deeper levels of flexibility. Either way. All right, let's bring both feet down. Go in and out with your knee just to relax your right hip. Ankles and knees together, same options here. Left ankle on top, left knee on top, or all the way up here with the left ankle on top. Now you may have to adjust your right foot to get that same straight line from your knee to your ankle. Now if you're up here with your leg, you can flex your foot, shoulders down, lift your chest up, and then start to tip forward. Feel that the shape of your back is long and straight. Feel that that's happening. If you have access to a mirror, look in the mirror. Make sure the mirror is in the right spot for you to see what's going on with your back. If you're working out with someone else, you can ask them, is my back straight? That's helpful. Now where do you feel this stretch mostly? Is it in the outer part of your left hip? It probably is. Maybe down into your leg, maybe up into your back. And then we come up and we bring both feet down. And then we kind of wiggle the knee in and out a couple times. All right, going back to our side bend now. Let's take our feet about shoulder width distance. Once again, making sure that you're tall and straight. Now take your right hand on the chair edge, right on the seat, up and over with your left arm. Stay here. Shoulders ease down. Make sure that you're not shortening the front of your torso. Keep it long. Sometimes we push the shoulders down at the beginning of a move, and then we forget and they ride up. So check in again. See where your shoulders are in relation to your ears. Up, inhale. Let's go other side. Over. And then keep breathing. So this is a side stretch. Do you feel it in your right side? In your low back, in your waist? Maybe here into some of the muscles under your arm and against your side ribs. maybe up into your upper right arm too, like tricep area. And we're supporting with this hand so these muscles don't have to support as much and they can stretch and lengthen better. All right, and then we're coming up. Now we're going to combine two things that we did toward the beginning. Separate your feet wider, lunge, start out with your knees at 90 degrees. Now wiggle your back foot further back and watch my heel. Push your heel back as much as you can. So the flexibility in the front of your hip is the limiting factor here for the most part. So the tighter you are here, the more you need to be doing this stretch. So it's good that you're doing it. But also the tighter you are here, the more bent your leg will be back here. And that's okay. Now let's twist. Here's the second part. Take your hand that's closest to me to the outside of your knee, and your other hand will go on the back of the chair. Now if you can take both hands on the back of the chair. See how it feels for you. Letting your hip that's closest to me drop down toward the floor. But make sure you're in a sturdy chair. All right, let's release that now. Keep your feet wide apart as you make your transition. Lunge. And then back leg straighter for your lunge. Notice how I'm wiggling my foot back and forth. That's the easiest way for me to get my athletic shoe to move back, because they're pretty grippy, aren't they? Remember the heel pushing back. We want that to happen. And now we twist. Take your hand across to the outer portion of your bent knee. Your other hand is on the back of the chair, or maybe both hands are on the back of the chair. And then drop your hip that's closest to me down toward the floor. Are your shoulders still relaxed? And then we're coming back around to the front. How did that feel? That's a big hip stretch, really big. All right, we're back to sitting up, nice and tall, shoulders back and down. Now drop your ear to your shoulder on the right side. Feel the stretch on the left side of your neck. Up and then tip the other way, over and down. Stay here. Now sometimes when we tip the ear toward the shoulder, we tend to turn the head toward the shoulder as well, but we're not doing that. Keep your nose facing straight ahead. Feel the difference when you do it that way. It is different. Back to the center. Ooh, let's turn the head a couple times from right to left. Right to left. All right, come back to the center. We're standing up now, so hands on your legs, press yourself up, or hands on the chair, press yourself up. Let's go around to the side of the chair. And then take your outside leg, and we're going to stretch the front of our thigh and the front of our hip a little bit more. So take your outside leg back and touch the toes down. Now if you can, bend your back leg. And if you can, with your outside hand, hold on to your ankle. Now a couple things we want to make sure of here, that your knees are side by side, your knee isn't way out here, and that you're not bending over to the side in order to hold on to your ankle. If you're bending to the side, don't hold your ankle. All right, let's go to the other side so we can do the other leg. Outside foot back, outside leg bent, holding on with your outside hand if that works for you. Shoulders back and down, keep breathing. Try not to let your knee be forward like this, or out. Tuck it in. All right, let's release that. Let's come back to seated. Roll your shoulders back and down. So how do you feel now? Doing flexibility work helps us feel more limber and comfortable in our bodies, which is so important. Thanks for joining me, but more importantly, thank yourself for being here and treating yourself to some you time. And until next time, be well.